today. Mine is just a simple one. It's about real estate. Today, we have noticed that real estate is a real idea, because it's the one almost selling everywhere. I think this idea was copied from outside, and now it's on a higher rate here in Uganda. What do I mean? A lot of things have changed in real estate. The kind of houses different companies are building, the ones on trend, the fully furnished houses, really compared to the other years, today is quite different. There are condominiums which are fully furnished. So whoever is interested in real estate today, they are hitting a big one. So why am I talking about this? Because I have some little experience about it. I've worked with it for quite some years, and to me it's one business I would love to do, because you earn something. If you are an owner or a custodian or a caretaker, but to me, my dream is becoming an owner of one in any location. But according to the experience I have, if I happen to make one, it would really be one of the best. According to some I've visited in different parts of Kampala, let's say Kololo, Naguru, even other areas, Mutinda. If you found one which is fully furnished, it would really be interesting, with interesting items inside, the bathrooms, the kitchens, the sitting rooms. They will really be so lovely. So I would really encourage all of you to be involved in real estate. It's one good deal. Maybe I'd call it, and I would group them in non-perishable goods, because all you need is innovation after some time. Quite better than investing in land, transport, something like that. Well, of course, they all have advantages and disadvantages, even real estate as well. But to me, I would love that one. Thank you so much for listening.
What were you selling? Houses, condominiums, real estate. Real estate is white, land is real estate. Houses, real estate. Condominiums, real estate. So what were you exactly selling?
All of them.
You can't sell everything. You see, now you're beating the eye.
Talks about the house.
Houses.
静音台，
Not so.
静音关。
We're talking about the houses for rent or houses for sale. Now you see how different it becomes, because you are generalizing. So your whole pinch was here. You get it? Your whole pitch was just on the bigger thing. It was big. You had not broken it down to get to the house. Because if you're selling a house, that means your pitch is supposed to be about houses, selling, not renting. Because now renting is a different thing. Now, your audience, the people you'll be talking to, are people who are interested in what? In buying houses, not in renting. Now you see how you see your prospects, you narrow it down to. Now, since you're talking about housing, what would be your attention-grabbing opening remark? If I were you, I'd go back to statistics and ask myself, how many Ugandans own houses? Right? As you were talking, I was trying to research for you. I realized that we have 77% of Ugandans own houses in rural areas. And that is true. Most of them have built their small houses, they're living on their own land. You come to urban areas, 49%, so we are below average. Then nationwide, 72. Overall, top regions, Teso, no, let's leave that one, and Buganda. We come back to urban areas. We see like it's 49%. This is below average. That means if you meet how many people? 49% means if you meet 4 people, how many people own houses? 1. If you were to break it down. Almost 2. That means if we meet 5 people, 2 people own houses. Now that would be an open statement. Did you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 of these people own houses? And somebody will be like, huh? So what next? Now you bring in, this is the percentage, attention grabbing. You bring in their interest. Maybe you tell them in rural areas, then in urban areas, and why people in urban areas don't own actually houses. Now you bring in a product that will make our services more easier, or for us to access housing. Now there is that uniqueness of your organization. Maybe first deposit is 20%. Then the rest you pay in installments. How many installments? Maybe 5 installments. That's a USP, unique selling proposition. Like, you know what? My organization, maybe Bruce Real Estate, has built over 100 houses. And for you to own one house, all you need is 20%. Right? Interest, you're increasing their desire. Now they start asking, so 20% of what? Now for you have done your statistics. You show them maybe you start with 50 million up front and you pay maybe in 5 installments. 50 up front, other installments maybe 20. So in general your house is maybe 200 million. Let me say, I'm not good at math. Now to conclude, somebody should know that if I'm to own a house now, all I need is this 50%. Maybe that's 50 million or 80 million. Now as I live, if I have a spouse, if I have a friend, if I have a business partner, I go back and tell them, you know what, I only need 50 million to own a house in Kampala. Now that is what you're selling. All this is supporting the product you're selling or the service you're selling. You get it? Yeah. So you need to break it down and get to know where is your attention grabbing, your interest, where is the desire, and the call to action. The call to action is this one. What do I want to start with? You've seen people saying, own a house at only 20 million. But it's not 20 million. Or buy a car at 10 million. It's not 10 million. That is the start capital you invest in. And the others, now somebody's like, let me just look for 10 million and I own a car. But you have not yet owned it. The logbook is still there. So that is their selling proposition. So that's what you're supposed to do also. You sit back, look for your product or the service you're selling. Now build on it. Because you don't start saying, hey, have something to narrow it down up to this. Yep. So you're going to perfect your pitch.
There are no ladies here. Why? Girl child is endangered. What happens if you're not there tomorrow? What happens to your loved ones? Today I want to tell us about life insurance. And I want to put the question to you guys. What's life insurance? Aaron, what's life insurance? I'm sure you've heard about it.
Yeah, I have heard about it, but I don't know how to describe it.
Just say what you know about it. You don't have to describe anything that you know.
you pay a premium to an insurance company and you're covered in case your life ends, you die, or it's for, or at times it covers a specific period of time and you earn from it.
You earn from it.
Yeah.
That's life cover.
Okay.
That's what you're explaining.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you pay premiums to an insurance company, that's life cover. But life insurance has two parts. We have the life cover and then we have the savings. So when we started, I asked you what would happen to your loved ones. Most of us here are parents. And in Africa, even if you're not a parent, you're taking care of either your young ones or your parents. So you're responsible for someone. Now when we're here, these people are able to have a good life. You're giving them the quality of life that you want them to have. But have you ever thought about what happens to these people if tomorrow you're not there? We've seen cases where someone wakes up and they're fine, they go to work and then they collapse at work. No one plans for that. But then there are people who are depending on you. Have you ever thought about what is going to happen to these people if tomorrow I'm not there? Will they continue having the quality of life that I have introduced them to when I'm not there? That is when life insurance comes in. And who needs it? Everyone needs it. If you're not a parent, or if you tell me that for you do not have people that you're taking care of, at least you're planning. You know that at some point I'll get a spouse and I'll get children. That is usually what happens in life. So it's important for you to plan now, not to wait and then get a family and then that's when you start thinking about it. But if you're already a parent, you have children to plan for. We've seen cases where people lose jobs. Today you have a good job, your children are going to a very good school, and then tomorrow the job is no more. What happens? Have you planned for it? Now, life insurance is both savings and life cover. Savings is the obvious part. You're putting money aside every month or annually, depending on what you're able to, for a certain period of time. The insurance covers are usually termly, with in Uganda, the minimum period being 5 years. And the maximum in some companies is 10 years, while others go up to 20 years. So you choose, if you're able to pay annually, you pay annually for your premiums, depending on the period that you choose. So that's the savings part. I'm putting aside money every certain period for a number of years. Now the life cover part of it is what Aaron explained. Let's say I've taken out a cover where I'm paying 1 million shillings per month for the next 5 years. And then after 1 year, I am not there. Usually when you take out this, there's what we call the sum assured, which is calculated for you. So if I take out a cover, say for 5 years, and I'm paying, for example, premiums of, say, 1 million shillings, 1.5 million shillings per month for the next 5 years. So my sum assured, let's say, will be 100 million. This means that at the end of the 5 years, as Judith, the policy holder, I'll be paid 100 million. But the life cover part means what happens if after 1 year? 1 year, that means I've paid only 1.5 times 12. That's about 18 million shillings. And then I'm not there. My dependents will be paid this money that I didn't save, simply because of life cover. And life cover also has what we call a last expense. So 10% of this will be paid first, and that is paid instantly for last expenses. So in this example, it will be 10 million. What this means is my family will not sell my land to give me a decent send-off, or they will not go to church and pass around a basket. So even if people come and give what in Uganda we call mavugo, it will be to supplement on this, the 10 million. So my family, because I've been responsible enough to take out a life insurance policy, has a startup to give me a decent send-off, and then they will get this 100 million. So this means that my children's education will not be destabilized, and my dependents will have somewhere to start from. So this is one of the reasons, as responsible people, we need life insurance. The other thing is building an emergency fund. Many of us do not have emergency funds. How many of us here have emergency funds? But we all need emergency funds. I'll give an example of COVID came and people lost jobs, people stopped earning. The best thing to do is have a fund whereby if for example, your current income is 5 million, at least let it be 6 times so that you have time to plan. But remember that as you're planning, the children still have to eat. You're not going to tell your children that I've lost a job, so there's no food. You're not going to tell your landlord, if you're still renting, that I've lost a job, there's no what? Rent. So if you have an emergency fund, it will help you with such emergencies. Loss of job, everything continues as you depend on the what? On the emergency fund. There's also sickness. People get sick. So before we start looking for people washing cars to send you somewhere, do you have something to start with? Many of us just get our money and spend it all without thinking about building an emergency fund, but everyone needs an emergency fund. The other thing is retirement planning. We are all working now, we earn money, we have a good life, but we are not thinking about retirement. Time is going to come when you don't have the energy to work the way you're working right now. What is going to happen? You're going to start now depending on your children. But remember, your children also are starting their lives. They're starting their families. So you do not want to be there and you're waiting for your children to give you money to go to hospital. So it's important for us to take out life insurance policies as we build emergency funds. I talked about this. So if you take out, for example, a 20-year plan, this is building an emergency fund. Or if you take out this and then you put it on a trust fund, you're building a retirement fund, sorry. Yes, it can also be an emergency fund, but in this case we are talking about a retirement fund. So I usually encourage people to have a portion of money, a percentage that you put towards your retirement fund.
The difference between trust fund and emergency fund?
The trust fund is totally different. Emergency fund, I'm talking about money for an emergency. Trust fund is where you put your money and it's earning for you. So you can actually put your emergency fund into a trust fund.
The trust fund, you put your money to basically earn from it.
Yes, because the trust fund earns for you money. In Uganda currently the average rate is 12% per annum. So for example, if for example you have your 100 million here and you put it in a trust fund, you'll be earning about 1 million shillings per month, tax free. Yeah. So imagine you have your emergency fund, that's 100 million, you put it in a trust fund and then it's also earning for you. So you see that you can have your 100, imagine someone who has saved, for example, for 200 million. And you put this in a trust fund and every month you're earning about 2 million. This can pay your children's school fees. So you're not even using your salary or your business income.
Are they almost the same?
With what?
Trust and emergency.
No, they're totally different. I can have my emergency fund in a bank account.
It's not accumulating.
Yeah.
I would want to ask about the trust fund and the emergency fund. For instance, the trust fund, does it have, can you say maybe I want to put my money for a year or 2 or 5?
Yeah.
And then the emergency, because you know emergency will come when you don't expect
Yes,
it.
yes.
So if I've put my money in the trust fund and probably maybe I thought my emergency fund I put in the trust fund.
Yes.
And I put it for maybe a year.
Yeah.
And I get an emergency before that year. Can I still access that money or still?
Yes. Trust funds are open-ended. I can put in my money today and tomorrow I pick it up.
Okay.
So trust funds are open-ended. They earn on a daily. So if today I got my 200 million and put it in a trust fund, I'll start earning interest at the end of the day. It's calculated on a daily. So it does not have to stay in the fund for a year or a month. If after 1 week I want this money, I can redeem it and get it back. I can even just get part of it and the rest of the money remains on the trust fund. So they are flexible in nature. Yeah. The emergency fund is just for you to build your emergency. So the best way to do is actually like what you said, you build your emergency fund, but put it on a trust fund so that it's earning for you income on a daily. Now when it grows, that's when people start saying, let me be having the interest, because this interest can pay your rent, can pay your children's school fees. So you find that money is working for you. You've seen people who make money while sleeping. This is how one of the ways of making money while sleeping. You know, money is working for you, so you accumulate your fund and then the interest is running your daily expenses. So you're not even using your business income or salary to run your daily expenses. So this is why I want to encourage you all to consider taking out life insurance policies, especially if you have people who rely on you, because think about the fact that you're the one who is taking care of them. What happens to them if you're not there? You've seen cases where children change schools because the father has died. They don't even stay in the school where they were for a year. Before you know it, they are taking them to villages because no one is able to afford that education.
I forbid it, if I happen to die from somewhere and no one knows.
When you take out a life insurance policy, you get a contract. So you're supposed to share that contract with your next of kin or someone you trust. If you have a lawyer or if you have a will, that's the problem with Ugandans. We don't like writing wills. But if you have a will, this is something that you're supposed to mention in your will. Because we move every day. Death is everywhere. You can find it anywhere. So it's important as a responsible person to have a will or to have a trusted friend or family member who knows about this. You will have an advisor who will know, but that's not enough. When you're filling out this form, you give information of your next of kin. So you inform them. Or a brother, someone that you trust, you tell them, by the way, in company, I have a life insurance policy. So should anything happen, my life is covered. Never take out a life insurance policy and you don't inform anyone. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. It is not responsible.
Africans are so secretive.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
No?
How about the medical one?
Medical is totally different from this. Medical is basically when you get sick, you go to hospital and you're treated. So medical, we usually have, you can come as a company, a group, or an individual. So depending on your age and the number of people you have under you, we get calculations and then you know what you're going to pay. For it, you pay per annum. And then you get a medical card. So every time you're sick and you go to hospital, that's a card that you swipe and then you're treated. Yeah, so all you have to do is pay your premiums per annum. Yeah. So if we don't have any more questions, please reach out on this number and take out a life insurance policy. Thank you.
I would wish to clarify more about third-party insurance. Do you know many Ugandans don't even know why that insurance is?
It's because we don't claim on it. We take out third party without understanding what it is, and then no one ever goes to claim. But it is on us. It is on us. You cannot go to claim and you're not paid if it's a rightful claim. But we look at it like something we are just supposed to do. So someone takes out third party and they don't, but I'll get you more information about third party. But if you have a claim on it, it will be paid. But yeah, you're right, people don't claim.
Takes no.
Comment.
Putting it back to our pitch, right? As noted. Can we use this other side maybe? What was her attention-grabbing statement?
Whoever needs life insurance.
Why everyone needs life insurance? Now, as I seated there, I thought if I had said, she started with,
What happens to your loved ones if you're not there tomorrow?
yes, what happens to your loved ones if you're not there tomorrow? It's more or less of asking what life will your family members live after you have gone. That was our attention grabbing. The what? What was the interest? She said life insurance is everyone's need. Not so. Do you remember that? Life insurance is everyone's need. What was the desire? She came to give us this. To explain. Because this is raising your desire, like, okay, I have options. Then the call to action. If you want to get a policy and blah blah blah, please contact me on this and this. So when you look at her pitch, it covered it covered all the aspects of pitching. She had a action grabbing statement, intention, interest, drive the desire, call to action.
And I wasn't in class, I deserve a gift.
So there is always one thing we can think about as far as we have the what are you selling? Not so. Why are you selling what you're selling? Then how are you selling it? And why I should buy it? It's more or less
And where to do it.
goes to how. What am I selling? Life insurance. Why am I selling it? Your loved ones, how will they live? Blah, 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 blah. How am I selling it? Why should I buy it? It goes back to the first one. Because you're trying to take care of your loved ones after you've gone. So this can also be another acronym that can help us build our pitch